Okay, I want to go ahead and talk about why this program has been so successful at teaching what it does. Okay, now to get into this, we really need to talk about the progression of this program. I've been working on this program for a little over 8 years now, so almost a decade, okay? And in that time, it's changed quite a bit. I've been able to work with families and work with the students that have been doing this program, and we've just made it better and better and better to the point that it's at right now, which is just a fantastic program, okay? And to get into this, when I first started this program a long time ago, okay, I originally intended this program to be simply a physical education class. I did not want this to be something where the students could test from a white belt to a yellow belt. And the reason why is because I didn't believe you could have that type of a program without the instructor being there actually physically present in that class with the student. Because there's a lot of hands-on teaching that's done in the classroom, and the point is that half of the stuff that I teach, I need to be there with that student. So the thought of teaching a program where that student could be on the other side of the state, the other side of the country, the other side of the planet, I just didn't know how to possibly do that. So when I first created it, I figured, you know what, this is just going to be very simply a PE class, okay? I don't care if the students are getting a perfect round kick. What I care about is, are the students having fun? Are they getting a good workout? Are they working on building their athleticism? Are they working on their flexibility, fluidity, strength training, timing, agility, balance, all that stuff? And if they're doing that, then it's a great PE class, okay? So that's how it started off as. I just wanted it as a PE class. And what happened was I put the program together. I actually went to a homeschooling convention and I sold it to a number of homeschoolers. And I started talking with the homeschooling families and seeing how they were doing and how they were working out and how they fit into their schedule. And about 4 to 6 months later, I started getting emails and phone calls from the families that had been doing the program. And I started getting calls from the parents, from the students, saying, Master Purcell, we're ready to test. We're ready to test for the yellow belt. And I sat there and went, no. This is a PE class, okay? It's not intended to be a full white belt curriculum, okay? And time after time after time, these families kept telling me, well, Master Purcell, you need to see my son doing these techniques. You need to see my daughter doing these techniques. You need to see our family doing these techniques. We're getting it. We're absolutely getting it. We're getting a fantastic round kick, the front kick, the axe kick, the punches, the pumps. We're getting the material. And again, I was very skeptical because, again, it was meant to be a PE class. I just didn't know how well these students had been getting the material without me being actually physically there. And so I decided, since I had a number of these families, I decided I was going to do a road trip. I wanted to see these families anyway. I wanted to see the students doing the techniques. And I said, tell you what, I'm going to do a road trip. I'm going to plot this out, and I'm going to go from family to family to family to family, and we're going to do what's called a credit test. And what that means is I will test the student for the yellow belt, but a credit test means most likely they're not going to pass. Most likely it's more like a practice test. If they blow me away, and they're fantastic at the technique, I'll pass them for the yellow belt, but expect not to pass. And the reason why is that student is going to have to just blow me away in the techniques because they didn't learn a full curriculum. Again, it's a PE class, okay? Not a full curriculum. So there's some of the drills and exercises and techniques that I left out on purpose because I'm not quite sure how to teach that unless I'm there present. And so since I left that stuff out, the stuff that you do have, you're just going to have to blow me away. You are going to have to be just head over heels, fantastic on those techniques. And if you're good enough in those techniques, that'll make up for it. But in order to progress to the next belt level, we're going to have to find a way for you to learn the stuff that you skipped over. Okay? So we'll get to that later on here. But we'll try the credit test. But again, don't expect to test. Don't expect to pass. And so I went on my road trip that summer. And I remember the first family. First family, there were 2 boys, a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. And after the test, I was blown away, absolutely astonished, okay? These 2 boys, they weren't doing their round kicks at a white belt or yellow belt or high yellow or high orange or green belt. They were doing their techniques at a high green belt level. And I was just astounded. Got done with the test, I said, absolutely, I'm passing you, that was fantastic. Let me figure out how I'm gonna give you the other techniques and the other drills, but I'm gonna work on that. You got it, congratulations. And I left there thinking that was a fluke, okay? Those boys were just naturally athletic, extremely athletic. Not every family is gonna be like that. Went to the next family. And The next family, they weren't as good at doing their techniques at a high green belt level, but they were doing their techniques at about a green belt level, so belt level below that. And again, all they were testing for was a yellow belt. So their techniques were still yellow, high orange, green. They were still at that green belt level. So again, passed them. Went to the next family, went to the next family, went to the next family. And on average, the families were doing their techniques about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 belt levels ahead of where they needed to be. And so I passed every family, every student that did the test. They passed with flying colors. I gave them their belt level, their yellow belt. And then I went back saying, okay, I've got to come up with the rest of the curriculum. This is going to work. This program is teaching the students the techniques. Okay? So what I then did at that point was I sat down and I evaluated all the drills and exercises that I didn't put in the program. And again, the reason I hadn't put them in there was because some of these techniques are very difficult to teach unless I am there physically with the student. And so what I did was I broke down all these drills and exercises. I broke down how traditional martial arts is being taught for hundreds of years, even thousands of years. And I went through these drills and exercises, and as I dissected them, I said, okay, what are the skills you gain from doing this? What are the skills you get from doing this? What are the skills you get from doing this? Now, our students, if they're going to test for the next belt level, they need to gain those same skills, but in a different exercise, in a different drill. Different than how I normally and traditionally have taught this. So how are we going to do this? And so I went through and evaluated this, and I started coming up with new teaching methods. I started coming up with new drills, new exercises that again gave the students the same skills at the end of that program that if you come through the doors of my martial arts school, you're going to get. Or if you do this program and you're on the opposite side of the continent or the opposite side of the world, you're going to still get those same skills. You'll get to them a little bit differently, but you'll still get them nonetheless. And some of the drills, some of the exercises are exactly the same. Okay? So that's how this program has worked. That's how it's progressed. It's progressed by me working with the students, by testing it out time and time again, and seeing what works, seeing how we can make it better and better and better. And now we're at a program that just, it's amazing to see. Okay? The bottom line is as long as you do the program, as long as you stick with the program, as long as you focus on the program, you're going to do well. Okay? And very simply, we have a 90-day money-back guarantee. Okay? If you do the program, you've got 3 months. And if you are not satisfied with it, send it back. We are completely sure that you can get a lot out of this program, and that's why we put a 90-day guarantee on it. Okay? So we believe in the program. There have been a ton of families who believed in this program also. Again, try it out. You've got nothing to lose. And again, it's just been amazing to see the students and to see how it's been so successful at teaching what it does.